Wow, live on Facebook. Good technology. So thank you for joining us here today to the Take a Listing Today podcast. And for those of you who are with us live right now, all you have to do is hit the raise a hand button or hit the question and answer. And Lisa, our producer, who you can't see right now,
Lisa Gray
she will help you out.
That's my hand.
There she is. She will help you out by talking with you on the chat, and then we have actually something very special for you today because we have, as per usual, the $25 gift card for Prospects Plus, which of course is wonderful, and Todd's book, just in its third publishing release, Take a Listing.
I think we have 9 or 10
Become
more
a
left.
Listing Legend, right? A few left.
Yep.
And we have, if you were with us last week, you heard us talk to Third Eye Rossi, and we have his book here, Dog Eat Dog, and vice versa. This is a wonderful book, hardbound. It's about 500 pages, and it can be yours for free if you call in to our Take a Listing Today podcast. It will
By
be
raising your hand.
really awesome. By raising your hand. Thank you. So with that said, you can do that anytime during our show. We're going to go ahead and start recording of this wonderful podcast. You made a great decision to join today because we have two wonderful topics. First, we're going to talk about how to stop. Nope, that's the second one. The first one we're going to talk about is how to have your best year ever, because we're here at the end of 2019, going into a new year. You're going to have your best year.
You're going to want to take notes on here. You're going to want to turn off all cell phones, all distractions, and go back and revisit this. This will help you dominate 2020.
And our next one up after that is how to stop wasting time and sell more real estate. That will be a wonderful show as well. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Off goes the music. Call in. Be ready. Here comes the opener.
Welcome to the Take a Listing Today podcast, where our hosts Jim Studebaker and Todd Robertson give you strategies to get you out of the office right now so you can take a new listing today. And now, here's Jim and Todd.
I can't hear myself over here.
Oh, we got that fixed up here. We're good now. Welcome. Take a Listing Today podcast. This is what live TV does to you. So, for those of you wondering why we have a new member of our cast today, this is Charlie the dog. And Charlie is here because we realize that when you bring an animal onto these shows, you get a lot more likes, a lot more hits. We put a picture of a cat up and it got like 10,000 likes, and our
Right.
podcast has 12. So what we would like you to do is to like our podcast, because we have Charlie the dog here. We actually have the dog cam around his collar, so we're going to be able to have some live recordings of Charlie as we do our show today. So I think that's a great asset to the
You're
show.
going to love
Todd?
this. Charlie's been in the studio roaming around the last 2 hours. He
Yep.
wanted a seat, and so we at least had to make an introduction. So you're going to want to watch this one once it comes together, because the dog cam will be spliced in.
It'll be very wonderful. So if you'd like to call in and speak with Charlie the dog, you can do that as well.
You know, I'm thinking when you get that cam off of him, it's really going to just be him watching YouTube. It's going to be footage of him looking.
Oh, that's right.
That's
just
very
being
true.
engrossed in the topic.
So you see, he's just
Yeah,
okay,
or not,
there. He's
or
back
not.
up. Hello up there. All right.
Okay,
Charlie is
or
very
the close-up of
excited.
your face. That's
Yeah, it might just be my face or my leg, whatever happens to be on the camera right now. So
Exactly. So turn off all distractions, grab your pen and paper, and get ready to write down the ideas that resonate with you in terms of how do you have your best year ever. We're going to give you some strategies, concepts, and ideas, and write down and absorb what matters for you, what resonates home for you, so we could be a part of your success in 2020.
And now, if you're driving, please do not get out your pen and notebook. Perhaps you could have somebody do that for you, or you can review this at a later time.
Mental notes.
Right, mental notes, but this is some really good stuff we're going to talk about today. Jack Canfield, the author, you know him as the author of this famous series, Chicken Soup for the Soul. He said if you get clear on the what, then the how will be taken care of. And that is a very great quotation, which brings us to the burning question of how do you get clear on the what? That way you can achieve your best year ever. Well, here is how all of the goal-setting masters, including Jack Canfield, say to go about it. And we haven't introduced her yet, so welcome, Lisa Gray. Thank you for coming up with this wonderful
Hi, I'm excited.
topic today.
It's a great topic. I'm ready. I'm writing notes.
Are you writing notes?
Yes.
You made these notes, so you don't need to write them down. You should know
And
them.
I'd like to preface by saying one thing, because we're going to get into some goal setting. We're going to get into some things that will drive you. And here's why this is important. If you show up next year, or when you show up next year, if your why is not strong enough, right? What's going to happen when your parade gets rained on, when that listing appointment cancels, when the buyer doesn't show up? That will happen. This will drive you. This will be the boat that will propel you no matter what, because that's going to be a part of the game.
So step one of the game is to review your 2019. We're here at the end of 2019. Spend some time reflecting on what happened. Look at the ups and the downs, the successes, and it might be hard for you, but even look at the areas in need of improvement from 2019.
And that's a tough thing, right? Because we all want to use our strengths and overlook our weaknesses. But any great business person, whether it's real estate or you own a small business out there, every great business person is going to look and take a look and say, what worked and what did not work? What can I pull out? What do I need to put in place? And for a lot of you, this little weekly podcast that we do has become a part of their success, a part of their 2019. So share this with friends, share this with your office, people in your office that need this, so we can help people accomplish their objectives next year.
You okay?
Well, I just looked over and realized that in the moment of everything being cool, I didn't hit record on anything.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So, what do we need
So
to do?
we can't even fudge it
Okay.
because nothing was recorded.
Okay.
Okay. So
So I'm glad I looked over
Hot
there.
dog, everything's normal.
let's hit record and start from where we left off, and we can go back later and fill in the beginning. Okay?
Wait, no. What do you mean?
Start at ask your questions, the next section. Let's start at that.
Why? Because the people that are there?
Yes, there's people.
Oh,
We have
gotcha.
people watching. So let's hit record, and then we'll start where we left off, which is we just talked about reflecting on 2019, going to ask these questions.
Okay.
After we're over, we'll come back and do the beginning.
I like that plan. Good idea.
So in terms of looking at what worked and what did not work, we're going to give you a series of questions and add your own questions in here. And Jim, what would you say a couple of those should be?
Well, here's some questions. What were your biggest achievements in 2019, and why did they matter so much? And that's going to kind of pump you up a little bit and make you feel, all right, 2019, great year. These things I want to do again. The next thing you want to look at is what challenges did you face? And that might be tied into the next one. What did you regret about it? If you looked at a challenge and you did really great, that's a good positive. If you had a challenge and now you're kind of regretful, oh, I should have done this or should have done that, as long as you learn from your mistakes, it's not a problem.
And the analogy I would use here, if you can absorb this, is the following, that what challenges did you face, right? We're all going to face some challenges. We know this. And the analogy I like to use is this, like, let's say there's a harbor, there's a marina, there's a bunch of ships. Well, most people want to go out on that? No. But guess what? Imagine if you're that ship and you build your real estate game so strong. Your mindset, your prospecting skills, your discipline, your scheduling, things that we're going to talk about. You built your game so strong, and all of your equipment in that boat was the finest in the world. Well, guess what? You have a relaxed sense of confidence going out into those conditions where your competition will not.
Right.
And will there be a storm show up next year? There will be many storms.
Exactly. There's always going to be a storm. Be prepared for it.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of it, but be prepared of it. What goals did you reach? And what goals did you fall short on? And finally, what aren't you pleased about with your life right now? What would you like to improve? And when you write this down, be specific. You can't say, I want to lose weight. You need to be specific. I want to lose 118 pounds.
Exactly.
Right?
And why is that important? Because when you get on the scale, it doesn't go around and give you a story and say, hey, don't worry about it. The holidays are coming up. Check back in January. It gives you a number. It has no emotion. It gives you a number, the truth.
The truth, exactly. So that's a great exercise to give you some perspective, gratitude, and clarity on where you may want to focus attention in the new year. So that brings us up to step number 2, which is instead of creating the old adage of a New Year's resolution, set a goal or a few goals for yourself. Now, you might be asking, what is the difference between the two? Aren't you asking that, Todd?
Exactly,
Yes.
because most everybody says, oh, New Year's resolutions. Right? We know how that goes.
Right. So a resolution is a general statement like, oh, I will lose weight in the new year. A goal is specific, and it talks about an achievement that you will meet within a set period of time. And here's a great study. Harvard Business School did this study. When graduates wrote down a specific measurable goal with action plans, they earned 10 times more money after 10 years compared to graduates who didn't. And that is quite astonishing, in my opinion.
It's quite astonishing for a couple of reasons. One, it's so simple. Everybody could do it. Number two, it costs no money.
Right.
And number three, I've talked to many people, even as of this last week, that know something like this, that know 2020 is around the corner. Leave me alone. It's okay. I know what I'm doing. That's called survival mode.
Right.
That's called I want to just pay the bills and just life's overwhelming me. Well, let's take a deep breath and build your game so strong to where you're in control. You win, because the better you do, the more people you can serve.
And you're right. It doesn't cost any more to go from a resolution to a goal. It's going to take some time to do it, but it'll be worth it at the end. 10 times the earning potential in 10 years.
And time, just like we talked Tuesday in our meeting, most people underestimate what they can accomplish in a year, right? I'm sorry, they overestimate that. They want everything real quick.
Right.
They overestimate that, and they underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years or 3 years.
Exactly. So keep that in mind when you're setting your goals. Now, to make sure you have a solid goal, consider the following. First, motivation. It needs to be important to you, specifically the goal's outcome. Second, determine the high priorities in your life and set goals around them. Third, write down why achieving this goal is important. And throughout the year, go back to this why. Go back to it whenever you're ready to give up and you say, oh, I've got to have that Twinkie. No. What's the why? I'm going to be in better health. I'm going to be in better shape. I'm going to look in the mirror and be happy. So you got to think back to that every time that little hostess ho-ho does some...
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. And and goals do something very, very interesting to us, because here's why a lot of people are afraid of them, because it's black and white. So if I'm the real estate agent and you're my broker and I go and Todd, what's your goal this month? 5 listings. Well, there's no maybe there. At the end of December, are you in integrity or out of integrity? Like our old integrity calls, right? Our coaching calls we did. But goals will be fun because they will motivate you and make sure that motivation is internally. Make sure it comes from you. It cannot be external.
And if you put a range like that, kind of like what you're talking about, it makes it easier to work with. I'm going to take 5 listings. Well, that's like, that's going to be tough. I'm going to take between 4 and 6 listings. Well, that might be easier, and you still meet your goal.
Yeah, and if you're brand new out of the box, guess what? I'm going to take 1 great, good, sellable listing per month, and that's going to be a great goal until you get your momentum, and then that can raise.
So you also want to make sure your goals are SMART goals. A SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So, specific goals, clear and defined. Measurable goals have precise dates and numbers. Attainable goals, realistic yet challenging. Relevant goals, relevant to the direction you want your career or life to go in. And time-bound goals, goals that have a deadline. The last step in goal setting is to create an action plan. Now, this is the step that is most often missed by people. To create an action plan for a goal, identify all of the tasks you need to complete to accomplish your goal. Then put them in order from step 1 to the last step you will need to complete, and check them off as you go.
Which reminds me of something funny, right? The last step in goal setting is to create an action plan, which means to go take action. And we joke, but we don't joke about the old saying, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 4 to get ready, 5 to get ready.
Right.
What happens? They don't ever go. Paralysis analysis, right? Overthinking. So go. I mean, think about the iPhone. When the iPhone first came out, it wasn't great. It was not great. None of the phones were great. But what did people like? Oh, it's new and I can use it. And all they've been doing all throughout is innovating. So you don't have to go to market perfect. We'll never be perfect. Go to market, go to your broker, and make sure that you digest this, and you will get the momentum and you will get the power.
Perfect. Now, step 3. We are on step number 3. Create a breakthrough goal. Now, Todd, I believe that you call this a stretch goal in your amazing book, become a listing legend. Right
And you know
here.
what? I hope somebody gets a chance to win this today.
Yeah.
And yes, so what I put in there, and I actually got this from a talk I did years ago to one of the big three auto dealerships. We were talking about them surviving in the wake of all the turmoil, and they did a talk for one of them. And they shared with me this idea. And a stretch goal is something that you write down on a sheet of paper. Here's a normal goal. A stretch goal is supposed to scare you. Your eyes get real big. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now I'm uncomfortable. So now we're getting somewhere. And the whole objective is really, do you accomplish that goal? Do you not? Does it matter all that much? No. Here's what matters. It's who you have to become to accomplish that. And as you build yourself so strong, because now you're way out of your comfort zone. And if you keep going down the road in this way, you build yourself stronger and you hit a ton of goals and you can help a lot more people.
All right. Well, that's a very good explanation. So, a few tips to help you set achievable goals as a real estate agent. First, if your goal is to increase your income, target a range instead of a set percent. For example, 10% to 15% instead of just 10%. And here's another study. The Journal of Consumer Research stated target range goals were shown to be attained more easily than specific targets. Doesn't count for everything. Horseshoes, maybe.
Exactly.
Hand grenades, maybe, but...
And there's a reason most people don't like to do them, right? Most people want to go vague in general because it's easy, right? Human nature, we have this thing called rationalization and justification. So we use that mechanism where if I have a goal specific that's on the board, I can be held accountable to that. You either won or you lost.
Right.
And gamify it. Make it a game. Watch. I mean, the most Babe Ruth, right? I mean, think about that. Struck out, 70% of the time, no one cared about that, right? 30% of the time, boom, it's going in the parking lot, hitting a car.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
So, second, a great measurable goal for an agent is an increase in average sales price. Think about this for a second. A higher average sales price typically means more commission, better negotiating skills, and higher valued properties.
That alone will make you raise your game up. If you listen to our podcast, Luxury with Michael Lafido, right? If you heard that 2-part series, that alone, but guess what? That takes some confidence, that takes some courage, that takes working on your game so you're comfortable going and playing at that level.
And third, an increase in the number of contracts. It's another great agent goal, as well as increasing production in your pipeline by 15%. Both goals are measurable and the result in more closings and an increase in your income. And I'm assuming that is one of the, not goals, but it is a goal, not a resolution. It's a goal to increase your income in 2020.
Because one of the objectives as you go through this, one of your goals, and that's a great point you bring up, is to be more profitable. So maybe in 2020 you're doing the same amount of transactions, you just do them at a higher price point. Maybe you're doing the same amount of transactions, but you're just more profitable. So you could look at this in a lot of different ways.
Right. Doesn't mean you have to work a lot harder, maybe work a lot smarter.
Correct, yes.
So, Lisa has come up with a few tools to help you with your goal success in the new year. How about some smart home apps that will help you stick to your goals? What a bunch of names here. Life Tick, I Run, Habit,
I Run.
List. Did I read that right?
I'm going to download that one tonight.
At night at a Indian restaurant.
Oh,
And
I just got that.
and stick with two
Chinese
Ks
buffet.
at the end there.
Oh.
So,
We
Lisa,
have our own fun, yep.
we'll put that in the notes for the show,
In
right?
the show notes, absolutely.
All right,
It'll be
good.
there.
Oh, and 3 goal-oriented tools offered for free by Prospects Plus, the proud sponsors of the Take a Listing Today
Now, the
podcast.
second one, I had a chance to look at it this past weekend and also Tuesday. If a person could get their hands on number 2, that will be a game changer, that one item on this list. You want to take them through it?
Yeah, and I'm going to hit number 2 last now so that they
Okay.
stay on the edges of their seats.
Excellent.
So number 1 is the online one-page business plan, which is on our website, and I'm sure you'll have a link to that, right?
Yes.
And number 3 is the Become a Listing Legend by Todd Robertson, right here.
Yes,
You
and
need to get
77 pages, no fluff. This will help you get your mindset right, put some campaigns and strategy in place so you can dominate your competition and not just dabble. It's in there.
Yeah.
that. And even more motivation, you might autograph it for
Yes,
somebody.
exactly.
Well, if you want the hardcover, you can definitely get that as well. The great thing is you can get the ebook. You can download that. Go to our blog site. It's at the bottom of the page for free. These are free tools. So this is something you can definitely get reading at.
Nice. So they can get that
nothing.
right away. Perfect.
Nice. All right, should we do number 2?
Ooh. How are they going to
It's a
get
nice
this,
one.
though? This could change their year, just this one piece here.
Well, all right. Number 2, which is really number 1, the new 2020
Confusing.
real estate marketing planner. Lisa and her team of helpers has been working on this all year to provide a great tool for you in 2020. It talks about every single thing you should do marketing-wise in the new year to be a great success. And it's on the press right now. You can't even buy it or download it. Can you download
You
it?
can download it.
Oh, you can download
Go
it
to our
right
blog
Oh.
site, go to the bottom. You can
That's
download
recent.
it for free right now. And there's a lot of visuals in there. There's calendars for every month.
Well done.
There's holidays marked on there, and there's also goal setting. You can go week by week and set goals through this whole planner. And you can actually also download the digital to your calendar for Outlook, for Google, and for your iMac, for your Apple
Nice.
products as well. So you can have it digitally, you can get it in your hands once it hits the presses in the next couple weeks, and you can have the download in the meantime. It's a phenomenal product. For
Very
free.
nice. Wow, what a deal. All right, and that is how you can have the best year ever in 2020. And I got to tell you, that was amazing. Do you agree?
That was outstanding. We gave them some great content. We look forward to seeing who the winners are. Digest this, absorb it, watch it, listen to it, and this will help you dominate 2020.
Oh, somebody's raising their hand.
Somebody's raising their hand.
Sheila raising her hand. Well, let's put Sheila live on the show.
All right.
Really?
Sure.
We're going to kill the ending music just
Okay.
because somebody...
Sheila, are you here?
Oh.
Sheila?
Hello.
Hi, Sheila, are you with us?
Hi.
Yes, she's saying yes.
Yes.
Oh, here she is.
Oh, there we
hear
go.
you. We hear you, Sheila.
We just have a half-hour delay between the sound here. Hello, Sheila. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for calling in today. Do you have a question, or are you just calling that because you want Todd's book?
and maybe a gift card.
Well, I do want Todd's book, but how do you download what she was talking about? just a
Yes,
moment
thank
ago?
you. We'll
The,
slow down. Yes.
Marketing planner.
Yes, Sheila, go ahead. Do you know how to get to ProspectsPLUS.com?
Yes.
Okay. All right. When you're on the home page for ProspectsPLUS.com, look at the bar across the top that has, postcards. It names all the things. You'll see there's a something you can click on for our blog site. Click on the blog.
Okay.
Once you get on our blog site, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see some images there for our free products. You'll see the one-page business plan is there, and you can click and get it right from there. You'll see Todd's book, the ebook is there. You'll see the 2020 business planner there, or I'm sorry, it's not business planner, it's called the real estate marketing planner. That is right there as well. So once you're on the blog site, you just scroll down, and you'll see where you can click on the image and click on a link, and you can get it right from there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Sheila, would you like to win a book
And
or a gift
I would
card
love to win a
or
book.
anything?
We have a question for you. We have some questions pre-prepared for you.
We were waiting for you to call, Sheila, so we have this now.
Where is home for you, Sheila? Where is home for you?
Somerville, South Carolina.
no, that wasn't the question, right?
Nice. No, that wasn't the one to
No.
win. That was just a question because we like to hear where people
That
are
was
calling
stalling
from.
until Jim got the question ready.
Okay, now I've got the question. Sheila, here's your question. What do you call an animal that only eats plants?
Ooh.
Vegetarian.
A vegetarian. Well,
Sheila.
What type of animal? It's a mammal.
Sheila, I wanted you to win so bad on this.
the card says
Oh.
an herbivore.
Let's give it one more try.
One more?
I mean, let's
All right.
let's give it one more try.
Vegetarian. I like that one. Maybe that's a
Well,
human.
aren't we all animals, us humans, right?
Good
All right,
point.
No, quit trying to bend the rules. All right. No. Let's try another one here. Okay,
Let's do an
Sheila.
easy real estate question.
I don't. Oh, this is a very easy question in case you ever have to draw circles, I guess. What is the distance around a circle called?
The circumference.
Circumference!
Sheila!
Yay! Nice job. You are a big winner, Sheila. What are we sending her?
We're going to send her Become a Listing Legend and a gift card, $25 gift card for anything at ProspectsPLUS.com.
Nah, what about Rossi's book?
Oh.
Sheila, would you like this too? No extra charge.
Triple winner.
I would love it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is from Jerry Third Eye Rossi. You'll hear about that when you watch his podcast. But
Yes, definitely tune into that one.
yeah, dog eat dog and vice versa. 8 secrets to put the bite into your marketing. It's actually a very good book, so you'll enjoy that, Sheila. Well, thank you for calling in, and stay with Lisa. She can get your information and stuff. Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, go ahead and type out your address that I can send everything to in the question section, okay?
Did you hear all that?
Okay, will
All right.
do.
Thank you, Sheila. Have a wonderful day.
All right, perfect. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Nope, nobody else right now.
Okay. Well, let's try to end the show again then. All right, there we go.
That's a good sign when you want to end and they won't let you in. That's
That
almost
is
a good sign.
Thank you, Sheila. We appreciate that very much. So we were saying that you can be part of our next live show by going to our website at takealistingtoday.com. You can join our next live recording, ask questions of the experts, and our show is brought to you by Prospects Plus. They have everything you could ever wanted for marketing. So go visit them at prospectsplus.com, and all these wonderful free things, downloads, are on the Prospects Plus website.
Thank you for being with us. Stay strong, stay powerful, and we'll talk to you next week.
So for those of you still with us, don't go away because we are going to start our second podcast
In about 5 minutes.
in about 5 minutes, which is how to stop wasting time and sell more real estate. So that will be coming up very shortly. We're just going to put some music on here so you know you haven't been disconnected. How about that?